Welcome to day 11 of our month-long video challenge. Today I am at Grit and Grace all day and I wanted to take you around, show you some of the vendors and booths here, and talk a little bit about what I've seen sales-wise. I've been working at the front register here for a couple months now, and as a booth owner myself, I've come to notice a lot of tips and tricks that vendors can use to sell their products more often. A lot of these things have also helped me this year in my sales. So I went from making about $500 to $600 each month on my sales to almost $1,000 during our busy months. What I'd like to do today is walk you around to all the booths, point out some of the things that I have noticed that sell well and talk about why they sell well. And hopefully you'll be able to use this in your booth, or you'll just get to see some of the awesome things that we have here at Grit and Grace Market. The first thing that I've noticed working up at the front is that smalls are king when it comes to your antique booth. Most of the time, we're selling items that are around the $5 price point. And you might think, well, that's not enough to really make a difference. But when you're selling those things over and over and over again, that's what makes people's booth run around here. We have smalls like stickers, rings, jewelry, candy, toys, cards, and other things that are just really tiny purchases that people don't mind picking up. Another thing that always tends to do really well for us is jewelry. There are a lot of vendors in here that carry different types of jewelry, and we seem to sell from all of them. You have beautiful custom-made mix and match jewelry, $5 rings and earrings that get picked up all the time, and boutiques which carry specific style. Other things that sell really well here are anything local. People come in looking specifically for those things. There are two different ways which items can be considered local. One is if they're actually made in the area. Some of the specific items that we have that are locally made are things like candles, local body products, soaps, crocheting, local artisans, things like that, and even items like freeze-dried candy, which are dried right here in the Chattanooga area. And then there's also items that specifically say the name of the area or the location on them. For example, we see a lot of things that have Tennessee, Cleveland, Tennessee, Grit and Grace Market, Cleveland, Tennessee, not Ohio, all sell because it's people who are visiting and want a souvenir, or it's someone who lives here or someone that has lived here and has since moved out of state. So we sell things like towels, shirts, banners, pictures, pillows, all that have Cleveland, Tennessee, or our local cities displayed on them, and we sell those very often. Another really good seller are items that can be customized or items that someone identifies with. A good example of this is Time and Again Hats by Russ. They sell hats that have a bunch of different options when it comes to names for dads and grandparents, which can be completely customized. So if you don't see your name or the grandkids have a specific name for you, then you can order one, and a lot of people love picking these up for gifts for their grandparents or for themselves. You also see a really good example of selling someone's identity in clothing. For example, Doodles by Emma Kate makes custom clothing. She does all the artwork and prints on the shirts herself. So you'll see things like In My Vols Era, Jesus is King, and other items that might say cowboy, cowgirl, things that are associated with sports teams, the sports mamas cups, or anything else where someone can look at it and be like, oh my gosh, that is so me, I need that. The next category of items that does really well are consumable items. These are things like food, candy, candles, anything that you would use up that you would then have to replace. You might notice that some of these things fall under more than one category. So things like freeze-dried candy is both local and consumable. Or you have things like goat soap, which is local, consumable, and under $5. One of the best ways I've seen to get people to buy more items in your booth is by linking your items together or by creating accessory items or packages. So the Lazy Elk carries tea, and they also make sure to carry a variety of different items that you can drink your tea out of. Things like tea balls, teaspoons, and different flavored honey sticks for flavoring your tea. When people come into a booth like this, especially when they're looking for gifts for other people, they will tend to pick up multiple different items to create a set. And when you're giving it as a gift and you've got the tea plus the tea ball plus a mug plus honey, it really makes it feel complete and well thought out. Another example of this is Endless Creations by Drea. She sells these really cute custom-made drinking glasses. She has straws, lids, and little drink covers so you can keep your hands warm or cool. When people pick out drinks from her, they tend to get everything that goes with the drink set. There is also From Me to You, which makes these beautiful welcome signs and door hangers, which have a bunch of accessories that you can choose from. So if you want to switch out your sign for the season, all you have to do is pick up the next one that you want to switch out to. People will often come in and pick out a sign and then buy all of the items to go with that sign for the whole year, all in one purchase. Sometimes they'll make a couple of different purchases, come in, look at the new ones, and then buy even more for the sign that they already have. This is also a great gift idea because you can buy someone the sign, a couple of different accessories for it, and then they can come back in and choose out some of the ones that they like. Another thing is creating bulk bundles of items. You can buy one package of loose leaf tea for $7, or if you get 3, then they are $20, which saves you per package. This is the same with their unpapered towels, as well as their beeswax wraps. If you combine items, then you get them at a discounted rate. This also usually has people picking up more items. Now you might notice that a lot of these booths that do these things aren't necessarily antique or vintage sellers, but that doesn't mean that we can't translate some of those selling tactics into our own booths. Some examples for what I've brought into my booth over the last year after seeing some of these things at the front desk have been bundle items like these little cutting boards. I get cutting boards if I see them. I'll also get towels that I find really cute, and I make little gift sets so people can just grab them and go. I also try and think about what someone else might need if they're buying a gift for somebody. Maybe they want to get someone candles, so they also need candlestick holders, and they also need matches for those candles. They're also going to need a card to go with the gift that they're giving someone, as well as a gift bag to put it in. I also wanted to bring in consumables for my booth, but I wanted to do it in a way that didn't feel wasteful, which is why I decided to bring in my sustainable-based consumables. So these are things people will have to come back in and purchase whenever they use them, but I'm doing it in a way that is zero waste and isn't going to be something that they throw away. I also want to make sure to highlight locally made items so you can see these products are made in Tennessee. So I wanted to make sure and highlight those items for people. There are so many ways you can incorporate these different tips and tricks into your booth, and if you want to implement any of these or you found anything helpful, let me know in the comments below which really sparked an idea for you. Or if there's anything that I didn't mention that you're like, this has done well for me and might work for somebody else, go ahead and also mention that. I appreciate you all being here today. Tomorrow we're going to spend all day in my booth working on setup and furniture, so I will see you in the next one.